Hello everyone, good afternoon. How is everybody doing on a Wednesday afternoon? So I am just waiting for my friend Melanie to join in our Instagram live chat. We're actually doing she's in. We're actually doing a collaborative Instagram live. All right, let me just okay, let's see. Hopefully this works. Accept. Okay. Yay! Hi, Melody. Yay, this worked. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No, right?
Huh?
There's this share video here.
I think
It's
this is
okay.
good. Yeah, this is good.
Good.
Yay! So, good afternoon to everybody, and thanks for joining into our conversation. We're actually doing this because we are going to co-host a workshop in December, and it's titled From Self-Care to Self-Trust and aligning with the body so that we can reconnect and how do we want to show up with greater confidence and clarity for 2025. Yeah, so maybe we can share a bit more about why we wanted to do this Instagram live conversation today and some of the things that we wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for me, actually, I always find self-care so important. I mean, I know
Yeah.
quite normal for us to kind of put it always goes last on the priority list because there's always so much
Yes.
things that
Yeah.
at our attention. We can't help it, but because it's coming to the year end, I think it's time to maybe slow down because December a bit quieter month, hopefully,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
make space to reconnect with ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And also then with that intention to reconnect, calm down, we can prepare ourselves for 2025.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And oh yeah, I wanted to say before we forget, maybe we just do a very quick introduction of ourselves,
Yeah,
who we
yeah,
are, yeah, what we're doing now, and how did we even come about to create this workshop that we want to host next month.
yeah. So, okay. Okay, I'm Melanie. I'm an artist and a somatic facilitator. I'm
Mm.
actually a therapist, a somatic therapist. But I've been hosting workshops where I incorporate somatic movements and even mindfulness and a bit of expressive arts in order
Wow.
to allow people to connect with themselves better. When I say connect with themselves, is meaning connect with their body, or in another way of saying is connect more to our right brain, because we
Yeah.
have the left brain, right? The left brain is very common when we are in the working world,
Yeah.
where the results, how we do our results, what we achieve is quite prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Then we forget our right brain, which is our creative brain. We kind of ignore it because, but creative brain is where the place where creativity lives,
Yeah.
and that's where we actually can find good solutions if we tap onto it.
Yes.
So it's a useful, can I say, tool for us even to function in our corporate lives by
Yeah.
balance of both. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel it has helped me so much understanding this need for my connection to my creativity. Yeah,
Right.
and
Exactly.
Lynnette.
Yes, yeah. I also wanted to just say that I attended one of your workshops where you were hosting and allowing the participants to do some free expression drawing on a big piece of paper. And I remember that was like so freeing, that idea of just like, oh, for this time, don't even have to think about anything. Just let whatever comes to mind go onto the paper, and there is no grading, there's no right or wrong. It is just an expression of ourselves, right? Like I thought
Correct.
that even allowing that space for us to tap into more of this right brain, or tapping into whatever playfulness and creativity lies within. It was such a precious time.
Mm.
And yeah, so I just wanted to say I really enjoyed that workshop that you
Oh,
did for us
wonderful.
last year.
So nice of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And then, yep, for my own self, so I'm Lynnette, and I am actually a holistic wellness coach. I've got a background in primary care medicine, but I'm also very much a big, passionate believer in self-care. Self-care in a way that we can reconnect to ourselves, like physically, emotionally, mentally, that very holistic approach towards our health and well-being is something that I am very passionate about, and hence I started this Kokoro Salon where I actually teach self care largely through the form of a self massage method, deep lymphatic self massage method, and it's something that I'm wanting to combine in this workshop that we are doing in December as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I also remember attending a few of your workshops with the Lily Nudge,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
the lymphatic. So it's really quite relaxing, because
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty. I don't sometimes make enough time, but when I do, I feel really quite nice, especially
Yeah.
after shower. It's a great,
Yes.
uh, it's a great, actually, it's a really good tool. I can't find
Mm.
another word, but also
Yeah.
to slow down and connect with my body again, just
Yeah.
even 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and helps to relax and prepare myself for bedtime.
Yes, exactly. I think that is also nice to hear that you still continue with it sometimes. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so important, right? But yet we often forget this aspect of self-care. It can be just as
Mm,
simple as practicing for 5 minutes, ten
yeah.
minutes, and good enough
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we also wanted to share, like, take this opportunity to share about how we have come across our, our self-care modalities, like how we came across it, and also how that has been what kind of role it plays in our life in terms of helping us to develop that sense of self-trust as well. Because this is the theme of the workshop that we are trying to, uh, share with the participants, that whole idea of combining that care with of ourselves and developing that trust in ourselves as well.
Mm,
So maybe we can actually share a bit about why that's important to us and why we wanted to do this workshop, and maybe starting with why, or like how the role that it plays in our life.
yeah, I've found that when I make space to
Mm,
have care, be it just taking maybe an hour or two, when
yeah,
actually on very, if I've had a busy week, sometimes, okay, tomorrow I'm going to spend half a day just to go out for a walk in nature, or just spend the day reading, resting, napping,
yeah.
that I can make better decisions.
Yeah.
Rested, I'm more productive, I'm more creative. And
Yeah.
uh, what happens is actually it gives me the space,
Mm,
and that's when
mm,
clarity comes,
yeah.
right? Clarity and ability to make perhaps better decision, because
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
my intuition a lot to make certain decisions, and I find my intuition is a very small whisper, soft voice,
Yeah.
and it needs me to be of a state of calm. And through making better decisions, I find that I have more confidence. Then there's where the development of self-trust, because knowing that I make better decisions for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
my decisions can, although I may not see it, can also impact other people
Mm,
within my family, or even friends, or within my circle,
that's
and
true. Yeah.
harmony, a bit more harmony,
Mm.
and more ease and flow in our lives. Yeah.
Right. Is there any example that you have? Because I also think that when I think about your career, making these shifts, has that also been a part of how you have been able to step into various roles? Because you're doing so many different things in your life, like with the artist self, and then your, sharing circle, hosting
Yes,
these sharing circles, and now the like somatic movement. Has that played a part in you exploring these different things as well?
definitely. I mean, I started with mindfulness.
Mm,
And that really, it was a meditation retreat.
okay.
That pivoted me into where I heard that inner whisper to become and to take the artist path. So
So
yeah,
interesting.
yes.
What was it like? Was it just like a thought that came to your mind during the mindfulness retreat?
It was actually only a couple of days into it.
Okay.
So, cause there's no phone, and
Yeah. Yeah.
really that I
Mm.
suddenly I was drawing also. I brought some. My husband had brought some drawing material, so I was drawing things
Right. Okay.
out, and then I
Yeah.
suddenly remembered, hey, I remember when I was a teenager, I wanted to become an artist. It,
Wow.
then next thing I know, there was this little whisper that
Mm.
said, "You must do."
So
It's just
interesting.
it's no like there's no right and wrong, and no saying if you do this, you don't do this, you regret. It's just need to do this, and because it was a quiet time,
Yeah.
right? It was space we're away from
Mm.
the city regular routine. I said yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's also that power of the environment, right? Of that space that you're in also. It's away, slightly away from the that busyness of everyday life, that you get that chance to really spend time more with yourself.
Yes,
That also played a role, right?
exactly. I got to reconnect,
Yeah.
the self, and that's when things start to shift, open up. Of course, it took time. I mean, it's been actually almost 10 years since that meditation retreat.
Wow.
I found myself allowing openness, continue to self-care, have also opened up different areas like this sharing circles,
Yeah.
so many is through having space that kind of give me the idea to open up to new things as opposed to
Mm.
just being the one track mind of being an artist. But somehow I discovered that all these that I do is seem to be very aligned with myself, because the judge I mean, okay, I don't want to say judge, but the indicator for me is that I feel more alive.
Right. That's such a nice feeling, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel more alive and I'm happy to do it. And I think this is the difference. Yeah.
That's so interesting actually, because a lot of times, I mean, I think one thing that you mentioned about is the creating space, right? Like having those pockets of space and time in our life to actually be open to some new experiences coming in.
Yeah.
And that was the first thought, the creating of space. And then you also talked about like how it's that feeling that you are more alive. And I think sometimes this feeling of like what makes me feel alive or what makes me feel happy, it's very much that body sensation, right? And if we are not so connected to the body or not so tapped in, then sometimes that feeling is very muddied, or we don't really know, can't really recognize it so well when it's something that really lifts us up or sparks joy lah.
Actually, it's true. I mean, even though I do all these, right, there are
Yeah.
times I get so busy and actually feel very disconnected from myself and
Mm.
disconnected. Yeah, yeah. There's no feeling. Everything feels numb. I don't feel
Mm.
that's when in some ways you're slowly moving towards burnout, and that's when I realized, okay, I need to pull myself back from all the busyness and just be in this space of self-care. And yeah, I hope that the ones that join us
Mm.
for our self-care to self-trust workshop there, you take the time to give yourself that gift of time and space,
Yeah.
guided to have some to learn to have a different experience,
Mm.
to connect with yourself, and also gain some tools from Lynnette and myself, but particularly Lynnette. I love the Lily Nudge, that massage
Yeah.
that really help, because really it's also somatics,
Yeah,
because you are
true.
connecting skin. And when we are actually, this is very, very vital in also for our nervous
Yes,
system, because
that's so
our
true.
parents or caregiver would
Yeah,
give us the touch and massage.
yeah,
This is where a baby get connected with
yeah,
another. And this is a way,
yes,
the massaging, it allows us to connect with ourselves and
yeah,
about our own body sensations. And maybe, of course, if we have been a bit stressed, then we can tune in where is, maybe we may have some aches and pains,
yeah, exactly.
boring.
Yeah.
So this is the that we can tune in. Oh, I notice, yeah, my shoulders a bit achy, and then we can give a bit of care and love, tender care,
Yes.
and actually, like especially my jaw tend
Mm.
to
Yeah.
hurt. And I actually just put my hands here and
Yes, exactly.
high pain, high tension.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
pain. I'm here. Is there a message you want to tell me? Or sometimes I just hold
Right. Yes.
this, and while I'm working halfway, take a break and just be with that pain or tension. I find
Mm.
minutes in, the tension kind of
Lessons.
releases. It lets
Yeah.
so that's the
Yes.
power of uh, connecting with our body. You know,
Yeah.
in this, it's just simple things, but we have not been taught these things, right?
Yes,
Nobody.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so this is I feel so vital for our well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk about that idea of connecting with the body also, I just really think about my experience as working in healthcare as a doctor for so many years. And I always feel like it's really quite funny that, as somebody who is knowing about the human body and you know in your mind what you need to do or like what's a healthy life and trying to balance things out. But actually, so many times we kind of ignore the body, like we ignore that the signals from the body. So when you talked about just now, just putting your hands and taking that time to communicate with the body again,
Mm.
is really something that's so vital. I think that is also the element of self-care,
Yeah.
right? Like taking the time to listen and to communicate and even pause to ask what is it trying to tell me, or what are some things that I might be missing out in this kind of like everyday busyness of life.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, because if I could share also like a personal story of how when I first came across this Lynnette self-massage method, it was also that time when I was feeling very stressed, very burnt out from work. I think it was like COVID times, and also a lot of the patient load was crazy. I wasn't enjoying myself in that very fast-paced type of nature of the job. And I think for a lot of people, when we operate a lot from the mind, so I think one thing that I often did was look around and see how come everyone seems to be coping fine, but I'm feeling so exhausted. And instead of tuning in and realizing that, oh, actually, my body is telling me that I'm not really, perhaps I'm not suited for this pace of work or the nature of work, or maybe there's a sign I need to shift something in my life, do something different. For a long time, I was always just blaming myself. So like looking outward and feeling like, how come I can't keep up, or how come there is a feeling of exhaustion, just that blame.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that has really changed a lot since incorporating this self-care as a more pivotal part of my life, doing the self-massage, it has really been that shift from looking outside, and comparing myself like externally with others, and really shifting to looking inward. And as you do your self-care, your self-massage, I think the important thing is that you're just taking the time to be with yourself and to like learn to love yourself again,
Mm.
because so much of it is
Yeah.
like always comparing externally, right? Or we are always thinking that we have to be a certain
Yeah.
way, or this probably better, it should be better, probably it's better because of what we have learned. But then at a very deep level, right, it's actually tuning into ourselves and asking, is this suitable for
Mm.
me? And I think like the body is telling us so many things,
Yeah.
It's just like a great teacher, right? So when we take the time to listen to what it's trying to tell us, it doesn't have to be a big, huge shift. Like you don't have to suddenly quit your job one day and find the next thing because it's quite hard to make that big jump. But it could actually be just telling us that I think we're quite tired, or we need some time to do the massage, or we need to relook our diet,
Mm.
or we need to relook our sleep patterns. You know, it can be like a very small tweak.
Also,
Yeah. Yeah,
movement, just
yeah, the movements.
just to regulate our body. It doesn't, I mean, okay, I love
Yeah,
dance. I love
yeah,
intuitive dance, but movement does not necessarily just the intuitive dance. We can be
yeah,
running or do yoga,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
whatever feels good for you.
yeah.
And I picked up on the point that, when we are tired and we don't live up to what we think
Yeah,
we should,
yeah,
we self-blame and self-criticize,
yeah,
we think that it's our fault, but actually
mm,
it's not. It's just what it is, right? And we
yeah, true.
learn this concept because of the culture of this left brain and being productive. And the minute we are not
Mm, yeah.
productive, we feel guilty. I've experienced that so many times, like
Yes.
I feel guilty and I feel bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then hey, how come they do things so easily, so
yes,
effortlessly? How come
exactly.
it's but I slowly rewiring my brain to feel that
Yeah.
no, it's about to what your body needs, and
Mm,
so trust that when you care for yourself, whatever that is needed for you to show up in the world will
yeah,
present itself for you.
yeah. That's such a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Self trust in yourself, and well, okay, some people say in the universe, right? Yeah,
Mm,
that's
yeah,
bigger, much bigger than us. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. That's true. I think like with the self-care also, hmm. Yeah, something came to my mind just now about what you were saying. I guess the whole, when I think about it in a broad perspective, right, the self-care element is really about learning to live in a way that is more aligned to ourselves,
nice.
because is yeah, I think like from maybe it's the evolution of life or the way that we live. We are kind of going along certain paths that are very molded for us in certain stages of our life that is needed, like schooling,
Yes,
work environments, and then needing to learn about the how to be in harmony with the external environment, with our family, our friends, loved ones, and community.
yeah.
But then there is also that taking back the balance of also
Hmm.
looking inward, also learning about ourselves, and having more, I think having more confidence and love for the person that we are becoming. I feel
Mm.
like it's been a big theme as well, like step by step trying to focus more on what is it that we are, what is it that we are in what, who are we now, where have we come from, and what exactly are we able to bring forward, moving towards the next stage of our life that is true to
Mm.
ourselves.
Like,
So yeah, I think it's also just learning to be our own person, in a
right.
sense, like the self-care helps with becoming more in tune with who we want to be or who we are as individuals in
Yeah,
this society.
I believe so too. Because
Mm,
what struck me when you say that about becoming more aligned with ourselves
yeah,
by tuning in with our body, because
yeah,
our body has the wisdom,
yeah, yeah, really does. Yeah.
inner wisdom,
Mm,
which some people will call it intuition or gut,
mm,
and that is where really the answers that allow us to be
mhm,
more within ourselves. Yeah.
mm,
And when we're more aligned, we do things that allow us to then show up more confidently, more at
yeah,
ease. We are not putting on a mask to be somebody else,
yeah,
or like playing roles, like sometimes we play role of being, for example, you play the role of the doctor, I may have played the role of the accountant, and must be
Yeah.
the must this and
True,
that,
true.
but more in tandem with how we truly feel within,
Mm.
what is our natural inclination
Yeah.
and I think because, like you said earlier, we are very molded by society,
Yeah.
and there are certain expectations to show up in a certain way. But when it's not aligned with ourselves, that's where
Mm.
actually all the tensions start coming in as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
further, if you read in research, some have gone to extend that's where all the diseases and illnesses,
Yeah.
we are not aligned within ourselves. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Way, the things that allow us to be more alive, right? Because when we are alive, we are expressing ourselves as
Yeah.
we are. And when it's going from in to
Yeah.
out, we are allowing release, right? Release
Mm.
and release or whatever. Is when we're holding tension, that's when they say illness
Mm.
coming through and all that, especially
Mm.
for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And now for us, I think we have this opportunity
Yeah.
to 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 practice this, to bring a little bit of self-care, to bring more intention in our life,
Yeah.
more meaningful, because I think we need to show up with aliveness if we
Mm.
are to thrive in
Mm.
current society. I feel.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I think that the whole idea of just getting more energy
Yeah,
it's been huge. Yeah, that concept of having enough energy, enough health, enough of being able to physically, emotionally, mentally to have that kind of level where you can do the things that you enjoy, or if you want to try something new in the next, coming year. If you're too tired, then that's like you can't do anything. Or if you are sick, that's also the big that's a big problem because then you also are not in that position where you can thrive or try new things or do something different or just enjoy your life. I think it's a very fundamental thing.
I,
The
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's why health, they always say health is more important than money, because if you don't have
Mm,
health, you can't
mm,
do much things. Yeah, I know I've been in that position before
mm,
where,
mm,
I had a good job, I had good bosses, good conditions.
mm.
I was working for European MNC, and it was
Wow.
really good.
Yeah.
I was aligned with myself, and
Mm,
it became, of course, stay on much longer than I should, and of course, I struggled every day towards the end.
mm. Okay.
Even though actually the
Yeah.
work is not that bad, do
Mm.
it. But what was missing actually was connecting with myself and my body. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
hope, yeah, if you're needing this time to learn to connect
Yeah.
with, that you come for this workshop that Lynnette and I are hosting. We are really
Yes.
hosting and sharing how transformative just action of a bit of self-care can
Mm.
be for one's personal growth and life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we can also go into just sharing a bit what we will be doing during this workshop. So it will be about incorporating our two
Yeah.
modalities. So we'll be actually having this grounding, somatic movement
Correct.
exercise at the beginning, right, of our workshop.
Yeah. And then
And
followed
then,
Lily
yeah,
Nudge. And then
yeah,
after that, some maybe expressive arts or journaling,
yeah,
where we can then, because now we've prepared our bodies for receiving, and then so we can slowly
yeah,
tap deeper within ourselves to see what is emerging
yeah,
for us, clarity, and how one wants to show up for 2025. So that is something I feel so important, that needs to be emerged from the person from within,
mhm,
rather than people or us telling you what you should be doing, what you should be thinking, but
Yeah.
own inner wisdom. That's what we really, really want to bring out for our participants in the workshop.
Yeah, and I think we're also going to be going more into some self-work where it is about reflecting about the person that we are right now, and also with a lens of how we have been
Mm,
before. So some work on clarifying like our values, what we
yeah,
treasure, what we view is important to ourselves, and that is some answers that we can find looking at the past, but
yes,
then also kind of grounding more in the present, seeing what feels good for our body, what feels we want to, what feels more connected to ourselves. And then
yeah,
also with that lens looking forward to 2025, like what is something that we want to do more of or let go of. These are all things that I feel also they come more honestly from our bodies
yeah.
when we are tapped into that more regulated, like you say about regulated nervous system, or when you're calmer, just as a simple thing, when you're calmer, when you're relaxed, when you have gotten a massage. So I always find that like, when you go for massage, you feel so good and so relaxed after. And that is the kind of state where whatever comes through, it often is really from the heart
Mm,
rather
mm,
than rather than if you are very tense and very stressed, what comes through may not necessarily be what is truly in your heart. It can be from the mind, it can be from external environment, what we think we need to do. So I feel like that's also the special point of our workshop, which is that we really emphasize the importance of aligning with the body
mm-hmm.
before we move to the self-reflection process. Yeah, because I think there's also plenty of reflective journaling type of workshops.
Yes.
Or you have those like daily planners where you
Oh,
can write out your journaling as a habit. That's also
yes.
fantastic. But just taking that time to also incorporate the wisdom of the body and
Mm-hmm.
incorporating this is I think it's just that holistic lens that we have for our self-care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really feel yes. The tuning, that opportunity to really tune into your
yeah,
body, to slow
yeah,
then tune into the body and also calm our nervous system lah. I mean, we live in a busy world and
yeah,
need that space to calm ourselves first, before we we tap in within. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
really looking to make it. For me, I imagine it to be to make the space a really safe space as well as a
yes,
luxury, a kind of cocoon,
yeah,
like the participants, so that we have that time space, mental
mm,
space, to then tap into our wisdom, our
yeah,
wisdom of our bodies. Like you said, I love that word, the wisdom of our
yeah.
body. Yeah.
And I think we were talking about this before when we were discussing about the workshop also, that importance of giving yourself the time and space to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special type of gift that you give to yourself when you are going for this more intentionally, attend this kind of workshop. Also because of that space that you have, it is changing your environment slightly
Yeah.
so that you can benefit from the environment, you benefit also from the support of the people who are there,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying that type of connectedness as
Yeah.
you take the time to reflect.
Yes.
So I think that's is different from when you do the work by yourself at home. There is always a difference when you are in another space and in that environment with people who are also supporting you and all looking towards like thriving together
Right.
in the moving forward.
But
Yeah.
in the core where the
Mm.
work is a beautiful
Yes.
space, the second floor, and it's got natural light. Then got
Yeah.
some plants. And
Yes. That's so nice.
also one of the things I learned through somatic practice is
Mm.
that we actually regulate better when in connect.
Right.
So when
Okay.
all common energies, right, our energies will be lifted up. We have, it's that collective energy that we
Yeah.
are connect with our body, to our wisdom and
Yeah.
action. It's much more, somehow it may flow much better than when you're doing it on your own, isolated at home. Yeah, of course you can do, and
Yeah.
that is a form of self-care at home, but from time to time coming out with to work in tandem with a group that has the same intent, I think it's
Yes.
very powerful.
Yeah.
For me, I feel the energy of being held, also being
Mm.
held, is that's just so yeah, that's important also for our own well-being. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that sometimes it's just about that balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I always am into this, how balanced can things be? Because we look at it from a holistic point of view. So,
Correct.
there's so much benefit to having that tweak or that balance in your life. So, if you are somebody who has been very consistently, doing some internal work, or the kind that already does your own reflection on the, time by step by step, occasionally you already do these kind of things. Sometimes it can also help to go into a different space,
Yeah.
getting that balance, listening to other people's stories, listening to what's coming up for others, and that sort of mirroring, like you see what's going on
Mm-hmm.
in others' lives and learning from them or learning something new. Is that balance that, okay, you inject a bit of newness into your routine.
Like injecting a fresh perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh
That's
perspective.
even more potent who have
Yeah.
already done work, their own internal work. When they come for something like this,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
open, they will land even more deeper into
Yeah.
themselves. Because sometimes when it's a short period, you may land into your own wisdom, but it may not be so deep. It
Mm,
may be a more on the surface, and getting fresh perspectives will allow you to even land deeper, and you may have really fresh insights for yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it happened for me before. I mean, I'm doing my own self work, and I still like get like therapy, and
Mm, mm,
time uh there's still fresh insight, there's still new things to learn about myself.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
it's own ongoing process of personal growth. Yeah.
Yeah. So beautifully said. Yeah. And I guess if we were to give a message so that, we just to share what our intention for people coming for this workshop, like why do we feel that it's such a good timing at this stage, this period of time of the year? Is there any last words that you want to say to the people who are going to who are keen to participate in this workshop, curious about it, maybe want to like have that next step, little push towards coming for the workshop?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good time because it's coming to the year end, and
Mm,
some of us have been, I think this, I'm not sure, but I think this year has been quite a challenging year
mm.
for a lot, and myself included. But like, to quote a friend, she said, challenging, but then not boring.
Ah,
Yeah, for
true.
me, I also look have that same time that I can also do together some reflection
Yeah.
to of slow down, learn to recharge,
Yeah.
and kind of learn my life lessons for 2024. Because only
Mm,
reflection we can learn. If I just go, I
yeah,
don't
true.
think much about myself. But if I
Yeah.
pause, learn what have been good for me, or what I didn't do so well 2024, I can bring these life lessons to 2025. And I really, really look forward to 2025
Yahoo!
for a year, more interesting year. And
Yes.
me, of course, personally, I'd love to host more safe space, embody more safe space workshops,
Yeah.
circles, so that people can also learn to regulate themselves. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
And me is sharing my own personal journey with
Yeah.
others so that they can also show up better for themselves. I mean, I think our lives need this because there's a lot of, if you look in the larger world, so much
Yeah.
dysregulation, right? All this war, fighting,
Yeah.
polar.
Uh,
Think
mm,
because we're also disconnected, so we get angry so easily, we get so easily
yeah.
agitated, frustrated, and if we bring back to this, then hopefully it's more grounding, more centered
Yeah.
for us. And I think it's the right time. In fact,
Yeah.
I feel that actually this something like this should be done at least once a month.
Wow.
I
Yes. Oh, that's really good actually. Yeah.
relax, and then go and then recharge and then go out there
Yeah.
and things that benefits not just for ourselves but for others as well, our immediate family, friends,
Yes. That's true.
right? Then we have more positive.
Yeah.
We need a bit more yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good idea to actually get it in a more timely way like that.
uh,
Uh, if you do it once a month, these reflection points, yeah, I do think that they are very important. Those points for reset and recalibration,
mm-hmm.
because instead of just charging all the way through,
Yeah,
we lose a lot when we don't take the time to come back and take care of ourselves or take care of the mind, the body, everything that we are, what everything we value. It's like kind
yeah,
of steering back to our values, steering back to what we feel is important. And if you don't set in that kind of pause or reflection time, then I think you get lost easily, or you
mm,
get, yeah, you get lost, or you get more overwhelmed, and in the end you can't go
yeah,
in sometimes in the direction you want.
exactly. Yes, I that lost thing I has happened to me so many times when I don't take care of myself, and then
Yeah, yeah.
not connected, then overwhelmed easily, and then if really not so aware, it will start to
Mhm.
go down and you get depressed. And
Yeah.
then 2 months, for me, it has happened many times.
Mm.
End up 2 months, stay at home, do nothing, comatose, not much, just now
Mm.
Netflix, but not really feeling alive. And then
Yeah.
after, that's, oh my God, what am I doing?
Ah, yeah.
More self care. I need more intentional self care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah.
but of course, we are human and
Yes.
recognize, yeah, we will have this cycle of dips and ups, dips and turns,
Yeah.
and um,
Yeah. And I guess it's also like the more we are able to take care of ourselves or incorporate some of these modalities that we'll be teaching during the workshop, is also that opportunity to give ourselves all that love. And I think sometimes even something like forgiving ourselves for the periods that we feel we're not able to be at our best.
yeah.
Like those bits in our dips, what you're saying, in the life where you're like, couldn't do very much, not very productive. It's also just that recognition that our body was doing its best at its
Mm,
time, like, or we were doing our best at that time also. And I think when we forget to acknowledge the past or past versions of ourselves, we also aren't able to kind of live that more loving life, right, that we want. Yeah.
I, we said earlier we'll
Yeah.
try not to make it long, but
Oops.
when you talk about
Yeah.
self, I feel it's so true because sometimes when
Yeah.
we forgiving ourselves, we end up.
Mm.
I know I've been there.
Mm.
Yeah, because I
Mm.
end up stuck
Same,
and
same. Yeah.
move. Just cannot. Yeah, can't really do much, and just then in survival mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
No tenderness for ourselves because we start to feel inadequate,
Yeah.
and
Um,
very detrimental for our mental and emotional health that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think, yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I brought this up.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's just a process, right? And not to say that we do it perfectly forever, but it's also developing that ability to take care so that even when we slip up a bit, we are still fine and we are still able to, love ourselves and come back up again
Yes,
throughout whatever life has to, bring for us.
yeah, that's
And
the the challenging period. Okay, I've recovered, I've re-energized, and then when we show up, uh, we are much more knowledgeable, more wisdom, right? If
yeah, true, true.
we learn from it, then we can
Yeah.
show up with them, rather than it was so bad.
True, true, true. It can be,
Really
yeah, that's so true.
stuck in complaint mode. Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's true.
that's just it doesn't help anyone or ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I guess one thing that I also would just want to say to anybody who is interested to attend the workshop is that life can always change for the better.
Yeah.
I think there's always this idea of that I feel is very powerful, which is that
Mm,
it doesn't always have to be this way. If
uh,
you are facing some fatigue or overwhelm, or you're actually thinking of just trying something a bit different, of maybe doing something different from your hobbies or for your career, wanting to pivot just a little bit, but you're not sure, you're uncertain and stuck in this kind of cycle, or where you feel like, maybe I have to accept that this is how it's going to be.
mm,
Actually, it doesn't always have to be this way.
yeah.
There's always hope on the other side. That feeling of it can always get better.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just the right timing for, if you've been thinking about this for a while, just wanting to reconnect more with yourself, ground yourself a bit more, and 2024, it's already been so
Mm,
busy coming to the end of it. Yeah, so if you've just been feeling like, I think I want a bit of a change, like just something different to try or to experience, then it's a good timing for this workshop as well.
yeah. Yeah. I believe
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we can end off here. I just checking our details. So we have all the details available for this upcoming workshop on the Eventbrite link. And I also put it in this post below. So after this, I'll just put it up on Instagram, and below you can see the workshop details.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Saturday, 10 to 12:30 in the morning on December the 7th, and it's located at Duxton, a co-working space. And if you want to sign up, I'll be putting a link in my bio on Instagram above. So that will bring you to the Eventbrite page, and then you can sign up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope whoever hears this, I hope you'll join us. Both Lynette and I look forward to
Yes.
host you, welcome you, and make a wonderful, safe space experience for
Yeah.
you to connect inner wisdom.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, yeah, if you have any questions, are curious to find out more, we are thinking whether we would do another Instagram live session. So if you have any questions about any of the things that we have talked about today, the self-care methods, or talking about just getting more alignment with yourself, importance of putting in these self-care rituals and building trust, doing different things in life, anything that you are curious about or I want to ask some questions about, then feel free to put into the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do another live to address those questions that you may have. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Melanie. Anything else that we want to say? Or we're good?
Good. I'm good. So thank you for this
Yes.
time. Thank you for in. I hope to see you all.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. And bye bye. So we'll upload this after this.
Yes.
Thanks, Melanie. Okay. Bye.